We good to go?
Good to go.
We good.
What up? Welcome to the VegasLife Real Estate Podcast. My name is Chris Cash. There he is.
What's up, man? Kevin Sherba.
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
And we got a special guest in the building, Christian Bishop.
Yo, glad to be here. Thank you for having me today, guys. Thank you.
So on the Vegas Life Podcast, we talk about, real estate, mortgages. We are at the GFL Capital Mortgage. And the overall Vegas lifestyle and all. And I brought Christian in because he's an avid real estate investor. He has about 14 doors, very successful real estate investor.
A little casual, a little minnow investor.
Just 14?
Only? Just getting started.
It was 14. Funny because his text message when he was saying that he had a guest was he has a few doors.
Yeah.
A few.
14's a little more than a few.
Is it a little more?
Yeah.
I just got that information while we just right now, so you know what I mean? So what made you get into investing in real estate?
Yeah, look, man, for me, it was able to sell my media company in 2019 through 2020, got an exit.
Nice.
Small little win, and had a tax liability, so I was interested in some.
All right. You got to get some write-offs.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
okay.
some depreciation's always appreciated, right? So I was able to accelerate some of that in some buildings, put some money in, and wanted cash flow.
Okay.
Was able to lock in some rates that were pretty low back before things got up, and put in long-term tenants. Did a little Airbnb early, and then got into it.
Nice. And so you say buildings, like, are you commercial or is it resident? It's all residential.
Quadplex,
Nice.
duplexes, some of those.
Nice.
Bought some condos as well, single-family homes.
Did the regulations on the Airbnb hit you?
Yeah, it did. It pushed us out some markets, right? So obviously see what happened here in Vegas.
Right.
Certain zip codes, certain radius.
Are they all in Vegas or no?
No. I had a quadplex here in Vegas. That was a long-term tenant. My Airbnb stuff was in St. Louis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I bought in New Jersey and then single-family homes in Florida.
Oh, nice. So all over.
Yeah, I like to diversify.
What was your first investment? What was it in Vegas?
Vegas, yeah, I did it close to home. Was a quadplex, but they all kind of happened quick though, and pumping them out once I decided to go.
What made you go out of state?
I want to diversify, and honestly, deals. I have friends all around the country.
Okay.
Right.
I like having a chance to split up and not be in one market.
Yeah.
Nice.
I bought some of these properties I've never even been at.
Oh wow. Yeah, and people
man, just make me money. Here's the money, and I'll do what I got to do.
So with that being said, what are certain criteria you look at when buying a property or making a deal happen?
Yeah, so there's a lot of them I put money into. There's definitely been rehabs. That's been some work. For me, it's a financial model, right? Based on a certain return rate. Can we get a good deal on it, right? Trying to buy profit earlier and make sure it's a solid deal. Locking an appropriate rate in is pretty important.
Right.
Where I can, these aren't, we generally getting financing, so they're not all cash deals or anything. So
I got a question for you on that. Did you end up going like DSCR? Were these private investor loans, or were you going conventional? Or
yeah, some conventional, some of them putting 20% down. What is What is that? Can you explain
DSCR is debt service coverage ratio.
Okay.
So what's cool about that? We'll probably talk after the show. But what's cool about that is that it's a new product or a newer product last few years that came out with investment mortgage that allows you to buy the home based off of the house and the subject's possible rent, what you can possibly rent it for.
Nice.
Rather than your income, your tax returns, and your assets. It just looks at the house itself as long as you got the down payment.
Yeah, you don't need your income verification or anything. The house itself is the verification of the income.
I think I've seen these being done with Airbnb properties, right?
Right.
Like investors.
Yeah, a lot of people have been taking advantage because they don't have to show. When you're doing your Uncle Sam tax return, you're trying to write off everything you can. So, you don't want to use your net income in order to qualify. So you just use based off what the appraiser thinks it's going to rent for, like a single family home. The mortgage payment's $2,500. It rents for $2,000. We'll set up a loan for that. It might be 30% down for something like that. That's not going to break even, but if it breaks even, you can do 20% down.
It's always interesting, man. Regardless, the market tends to find new products to give people loans and get deals.
It always the products always come out when rates are high.
Yeah, I know.
Because then it makes sense for people to make money on it, investor-wise.
Yeah, I think what was it? Another product people were talking about was a 40-year fixed, right?
Oh, yeah. They get creative when the rates are up.
Yeah, exactly.
So most of your deals what percentage were they cash and financed?
No, all of them financed. Yeah,
All of them
okay.
okay.
Bought a lot of leverage. Did some deals. We got hard money, and then we ended up converting and got a loan from a bank on some just to get the deal done quickly and win the transaction. Some probably wouldn't have appraised right or wouldn't have qualified for loans too, so we had to put some work in. So we ended up doing some projects like that. But ultimately, man, I'm big on leverage. So, back to your original question, these properties have to pencil out in cash flow, but I do factor in appreciation based on market of an average around 8%. I factor in the tax savings that's going to get from depreciating it every year. What is it, 27.5 years? I think the IRS tax code lets you depreciate, which I appreciate that. And that adds up, man. And yeah, cash flow based on averages in the market of what I can get for rent.
You stay in agreement with most of them?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I've been good to go, and that's why I'm out of California. I'm not in California, right? I'm not in markets that too expensive. They're not going to paper. You're gonna pay down, and that's more of an appreciation game, right? You're gonna try to play that, but then obviously the tenant laws too are concerning.
Oh yeah, it's definitely pro tenant, not pro investor.
Yeah, that plays a part.
Is there any newer markets that you're looking to invest in?
Yeah, I'm always looking for some, the Carolinas have been interesting, right? So I know there's a lot of work there in tech booms that are developing. Right. I look at where a lot of new major companies are moving into, like Amazon and big markets that are going to be expanding, or big healthcare companies and things. And but I'm driven by the deal, right? The right deal, and preferably an operator that's there that can property manage, right? Because like I said, man, I don't go to them, so.
Sight unseen. So let me ask you: do you have multiple investors that you're pooling with, like LLCs that you're doing it with, or are you just doing it on your own?
Some do. Yeah, some are partners, right? And they bring me into deals as well. So friends will say, hey, you want to come in this transaction, and we'll partner 50-50 on. Some will looking to get bought out and take out their position on as well. Right. So always open to getting creative, man, and that's a great way to scale and minimize risk. But also when you're busy and you kind of can get nervous about it too, is when you got partners that are good operators that you can trust, and that helps. Yeah,
huge having a good team,
Yeah.
So that's cool, man. And you said you had a media company?
Yeah, video games.
Let's go ahead and break that down then. Well, before that, what how did you learn all this stuff? Did you go to school for this, or how did you learn all these things to start investing?
Yeah, so I majored in business. It took me 12 years to finish my degree. But I'm getting my MBA at UNLV, and so I got my master's, and then wrapping up law school now. So I'm about a year out, and for me, I've just been a serial entrepreneur. The ups and downs, the failures, the successes, and getting involved, and of course, shout out the bigger pockets, right?
Yeah, right.
I just recently read something or saw something that said that most of the entrepreneurs out there, the successful ones, are C students.
So I seen that too. So would you say the college actually helps you with entrepreneurship, or what would you say the?
Yeah, everyone's a little bit different, right? Definitely not for undergrad, right? That's why it took me 12 years. I worked 2 jobs. I property managed, right? I was the guy helping people make money in the beginning when I was really young, and learning those base skills, which is an important thing for the audience, right? You get in where you can fit in at your level, but there's value to get from that. And then through the MBA program, why I did at UNLV was relationships, right? I moved here 8 years ago, so I was able to meet people. If you talk about a program like that, the people that are most likely signing up are looking to improve, looking to get better, looking to make moves, right? So I went in business with one of my partners. He was a doctor that was there, right? So we ended up opening a home healthcare business together. My wife's a nurse. So, I was able to build relationships. So it's what you made it. And then law school, that was different. That's given me a lot of knowledge, because as you do more, and I'm sure you all experience, you got to protect yourself. So having some experiences there too pushed me to want to get better. Right. And that's the pure knowledge play is actually understanding the law and how that applies and how to protect yourself.
Wow. Okay, so you started a media business, sold it, and then started investing in real estate. So what made you do media?
Yeah, so video games, esports, tech. I'm a nerd. That was a bit of my passion. Growing up as a kid, I was a gamer. Over the years, throughout my career, I just started when social media was really booming. I was buying the social media handles, which I considered them digital real estate. So at Esports on every social platform, I've started buying them, right? So I DM'd the owner. They wouldn't be using the page. I'd offer them, 10, 15K. We negotiate, and I just started buying them. And over the years, I got them all. I got the Facebook, I got the Instagram, I got the Twitter. I ended up getting the URL, right? I ended up bought it, and then I launched a website, a media company, publishing content, covering news and telling stories on it, and we ended up getting millions in traffic on the site, and I was able to sell it to the Ohio Innovation Fund with their company eFuse.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that. And did a pretty good quick flip. But
nice.
It's a digital real estate play.
Yeah.
I think I told you this the other day. I was like, imagine owning at like Realtor or at Real Estate or at Invest or at Capital.
Right.
You know, on these things, and innately you have a level of authority with your page, right? Because of the handle alone, and then ease of access and accessibility.
Are you able to disclose how much you sold it for?
Not bad. You know?
He's trying to get a VegasLife exclusive.
No,
cash.
Ever since I had that conversation with you about your story about the buying or buying all those domain names or those handles, you made me think about business differently, because I never thought about business as you create a business to sell it. Like I never, I just thought, you just had a business
to operate it.
That's what you do. I run a business. But now you flip the script as far as my perspective as like, yo, no, you're building the company so you can one day sell it.
Yeah.
Start another one.
Yeah. I think of it as base hits, right? So like my business was, a nice base hit, maybe a second. It wasn't you're done forever, you're good. It wasn't like that. But I took my perspective of that's okay though. If you can get a base hit, second double every 5 years, drive a business, drive cash flow, get an exit, invest in other cash flowing real estates like real estate that don't take you to be a regular daily operator. Like a business, that's the problem. You're daily and you're grinding every day. Real estate, you can let that pump and do its thing, and it's I think can be a pretty comfortable passive opportunity for you with the right managers involved that you can trust. And that's a big goal, man, because you ultimately, a business that's a good position, it's not just a job, right? It's something that you can eventually step away from, and it continues to do well for you.
That's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get stuck in a rut, going to work every day rather than having a retirement plan.
So how long did it take for you to build up your media company and then sell it?
Bro, that was about 12 months.
12 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the handles.
I see the wheels turning over.
Yeah, you already know.
He's like, we got to get this business sales going.
No, absolutely, 100%. What are the step-by-step process you did to blow that company up?
Yeah, so the handles and stuff. Remember, that was 5 years.
Okay.
So and people say that, right? It's like preparation meets opportunity, right? Like at a certain stage, like there was moves that went into that, and also good luck, right? I also was lucky to be able to get access to those handles and those people with willing deals, and eventually like they didn't say yes right away. I'd be following up for months, right? This took 5 years of checking in and waiting till they were ready
to get all the handles.
It was like the Infinity Stones. Because one handle alone is just a page.
Yeah.
But when you have it on TikTok, Instagram, every social platform,
you got it locked down.
You have it locked down, and you become the authority, and like that's easy anywhere, right?
Yeah.
That alone, that's valuable because of what you can build at scale for someone. And it's obviously you're telling a story. But the next is getting the team together, right? So anytime you're building a business, and it goes to the comment we just made about managing yourself out of a job, is got to have a team of operators that you trust, that you can count on. And that's what I say is like a founder or CEO is like one of their top positions is recruiting and identifying someone's talent and then keeping them focused there too. And everybody thinks they can do a lot, but then it's like, you're really good at this particular thing. Like, let's keep you there. And you do the same with yourself. You got to know about yourself. I'm not great when it comes to, say, hey, I'm not the best salesperson. I'm not the best operations minded, organized person or accountant or marketer or designer. So you got to know we need people in each of these roles. Let them focus, do their best, try to run a business that's fiscally responsible, because it's easy to spend a ton of money, you be a bit organized, and drive revenue is the key.
Would you say you're an organized person?
I'm decent. I'm decent. I'm pretty focused, man. I work hard and I drive to what I'm trying to accomplish and do, like, pretty relentlessly. I'm pretty ambitious there. That's probably my strength, and just run through walls. Usually driving revenue and business development is my thing. And then I surround myself with support staff that can help me stay on point there.
Nice. So what's your next endeavor? What's the next thing you're working on right now?
Yeah, so got the home health business. That's VegasLife.com. You guys can check it out.
Okay.
Like, my next thing was like, let me start a business with my wife, and I probably wouldn't do that again.
Trust me, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Wouldn't do it again.
Like hire someone for that position.
Yes, I have. So like that's like doing like IV therapies at home, because I was like, let me build a business for her that she'll enjoy and make her your director of nursing, and it put a lot of pressure on our relationship. And running business is different than being a husband, a father, and a partner, right? And being like, why isn't this done? Why isn't that done? Doesn't always work out well at home,
right?
With 3 kids and my children. She's like, only kids, and I'm like, oh damn, that's hard to counter. I'm like, it's a pretty good excuse,
Right. So ideally, what would be the better scenario for you and your wife? Like for her just to run the business and you just kind of like support it? Or
I always support her. I don't think she wants to necessarily be an entrepreneur. She loves medicine and helping people, right? And I think providing patient care, working as like a nurse practitioner, supporting a practice, being with other partners that are more business minded, especially like doctors, right? They're not necessarily business people, but if she has other medical professionals that are business minded and she could provide care and like be a partner, and I can invest and help buy in, and like she's a partner but doesn't have to handle it and I don't, great.
Right.
Yeah, but we did that, man. I've launched other businesses, but back in gaming and esports and stuff, so my passion. And so I'm back to my core passion, man.
And it's so crazy that you say gaming, because I'm into music, and I like study a lot of people who do music and have transitioned to different worlds. Like I studied like T-Pain. T-Pain says he makes more money playing video games than he did with music. Yeah. Can you see that happening? Like.
Yeah, look, I mean, it depends. It's crazy for Payne to say that, right? Like, and I've done some deals with him, and he moved pretty quickly, recognizing the opportunity of streaming. But he was like, man, I'm getting 60K an hour with some of the numbers he talks about. But those deals are out there, right? So you get paid per hour streaming gameplay, right?
Right.
So kind of break that down with people.
Yeah. So I do deals every day like this, right? For streamers, creators, you got them that live right over here, right down the street, not too far, that are making $50,000 to $100,000 an hour to play a game. So so video games is bigger than TV, music, sports combined. More revenue. It's over $100 billion. So it's a massive industry. There's a lot of money to be made.
And this is just are you speaking with streaming or like the whole industry as itself? Or?
The revenue number is the whole industry.
Okay.
Streaming is closer to entertainment and content creation. It obviously plays a part. It's just marketing. So like streamers, it goes back to, I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier as well, as customer acquisition, right? User acquisition costs. A gaming company views it the same way. What is it going to cost us to acquire users? Going to play our game, going to get dad's credit card, and then they're going to have microtransactions, spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on our game, like Fortnite, buying skins and stuff.
Yeah.
And they can justify that. If you're a creator and you got access to tens of thousands of people, they do the math. They factor in a certain 7% is going to convert. What is that each user worth to them? And it's simple marketing for them, what they're willing to invest.
So these streamers get paid by the game?
Yeah. So, the agency, right? So, like an agency will come out and say, hey, you have a new game coming out. It's a studio or the publisher, right? And we've got $10 million in marketing spend. We want our game comes out next quarter. They'll hire that agency that's going to have a plan to go out to certain creators that have certain audiences, and you're going to target different demographics, right? Different regions. Say, it's our North American strategy. Here's our Asia Pacific, APAC strategy. Here's our South American strategy.
Right.
Those users in these markets are all worth different dollar amounts, right, of their spend. These creators are in those markets. These creators stream the games just like our games, and you're deploying capital, and they're coming to guys like me, and we do the deals with the talent and take 20%.
So basically, are you brokering these deals with the talent? You find gamers and be like, hey, we can get you something.
Yeah, it's one of my businesses now. We do that, broker the deals. Absolutely. I've been on the other end of hiring them, right, to promote things that I was doing.
Yeah.
As well. That's something I did with my media company. I actually signed influencers and I gave them equity in the media project and ownership, and used their celebrity and their fan bases to drive traffic to the page too.
Right.
So like I've used the same kind of concept to also promote my business.
Oh wow.
It's all about having that following, right?
Yeah.
That's what's worth money.
Yeah. It's access, right? Like eyeballs. One way or the other, everybody's always driving for attention, whether or not it's a product or something we're selling all day, every day.
What are some strategies that you know of these creators that grab attention? Like what are these things that these creators do consistently to build their following?
Everyone's a little different. When I think of creators, I think there's a couple key things, pillars that I think can help make you be successful. One is, do you educate people? Are you teaching them something in your content? Number 2 is, are you entertaining folks? And then 3 is, are you really, really good at what you do? If it's gameplay, are you a great gamer? Whatever you're teaching. If you do all 3, then you have, I think, that trinity that's really can set you up to be successful if you do all 3.
Wow. So gamers are actually teaching people stuff too?
Oh, yeah.
Well, as they play, right?
As they play, they're talking about what they're doing. People
like
are watching
what they need to do. Like,
strategy of the game, like the game and stuff like that.
But also like how they do what they do, right? So it's like what I do to you on the basketball court, right? Like,
when I ball you up,
Chris, that doesn't happen. Don't lie to the audience.
What you do to me by injure me?
Is that what happened?
His ankle.
He was the one that injured me.
How do you think he rolled his ankle?
He was
that crossover time.
No, he was on my team.
That's all right, Cash. Cut it.
Stepped on your ankle.
He was on my team and I got injured.
Cut his mic.
He was on my
He's the one.
team,
I'm sorry.
and
He's got the board.
Cut your own mic. So it's like kind of, but it's like ultimately like you try your best, but some people are just gifted and really good at what they do, and they have a certain process to it. Games is like that. I can't do things that some of these young people or people can do in these games, but they learn a lot, and their brains are wired a certain way. I swear to you, not like they're gifted at it, and they teach you stuff. And, and when you're playing, man, if you've ever played games and you get mad and you're yelling at the screen,
raging out,
some 12-year-old over the mic, it's like. It's something that you really like learn, and that's also what our website did. We had guides, so that drove traffic. People are Googling, how do you do this? How do you do that?
Wow.
And it's just a huge traffic driver. Real estate, right? It's like, what are the top schools in my area? Blah blah blah. That's like probably a big keyword, right? Like if I was in marketing and real estate, I'd like target people that search that, right? Or what are the favorite things to do in Vegas? Like common searchable terms. And you brand yourself around these things, and you use Google as an SEO driver. And top creators understand that as well. So they're streaming on Twitch, they're taking their live stream content, they're putting it on YouTube, they're chopping it up, they're using thumbnails, keywords, pairing their content with trends as well that people are searching. What are the hot games coming out? What are the new things? And maintaining relevance by keeping adjacency to what people are talking about. So that way when they're searching it, your video populates. And because Google bought YouTube, YouTube videos are, as you guys have noticed, at the top of Google. So it's a double joint strategy. So little things like that, tactics too, are important.
And you're talking specifically about gamers, right?
Yeah, gamers, but it applies all content stuff, right? And like that like Google SEO trend stuff applies to any vertical of content creation.
And you have strategies for that for real estate, right?
I think it applies.
Okay.
I think it applies to real estate. I think the same thing applies. Like you could talk about interest rates all day long. You could talk about the mortgage bond market. You could talk about top schools that matters. You could talk about what's going on, crime, like new builds, what's going on.
And those same things you could use for your investing too as well, right?
Yeah.
Dope.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to get into it, but we're going to take a quick break. And we're going to get into more strategies about, real estate. And
business.
And business, I'll
give you some. I'll work on your jumper. Some
and me crossing him up on the court.
We're going to talk about that when we come back.
All right, we'll be back.
Easy, free.
Free game, freestyle. Let me show you how to buy a home. Part 1. How to buy a home. I'ma show you how to do it first off. Are you ready? Cause you gon' have to prove it. So you need to have a job to prove a steady cash flow for at least 2 years to get a mortgage loan. Next up, we gon' talk about your DTI. Take your monthly debt and divide by your income every month that you gon' get. Make sure that ratio ain't too high. So you gon' wanna keep that debt to income ratio at least under 36%. Credit, gotta have good credit. Send me a DM, I can show you how to get it. Next question, what can you afford? Last thing you want is to be house poor. Don't spend more than 30% of what you net, cause you don't wanna sweat. Now what you got saved for the down payment? Trust me, this is better than forever paying rent. 3% down at a home price, and you could be an owner in no time. Chris Cash representing this Vegas life. Part 2 coming up in my next rhyme. Las Vegas is for sale.
Yes, sir. We are back to the Vegas Life Podcast. My name is Chris Cash.
Kevin Sherber.
Christian Bishop.
In the building. So we're talking about me crossing you up at Lifetime Fitness. How you can't handle, my basketball skills.
You are quick.
You crossed him up and then broke your ankle?
No, I crossed him up. And then he was like, yo, let me be on your team. So we started winning, but he was like hating because I just kept crossing people up. So he ran into me and I turned my ankle. And he was like, I got you out for a month.
I had to take him out one way or the other.
No, he grew another ankle. He came in here after that shit. Couldn't walk, and he had 2 bumps instead of 1.
Was he?
I was like, damn, you broke that shit.
I love playing with him. He's good, man. He's good.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, like I didn't make it this morning, and I'm gonna be honest with everybody. It was because I was playing video games with the wifey.
Were you really?
Hey, we just talked about video games.
She plays with you?
So we found this game. It's Frozen, the Disney Frozen game, but it's like Candy Crush. It's the puzzle game, side-by-side puzzle game where you knock out, you got to match up the things. Man, that thing is addicting, bro.
All right, could you make a stream?
Yeah.
Would that make money?
It's an old game.
Can you sing the song?
Yeah, I can. I'm not gonna do it right now. Okay, so theoretically, just because I like to get strategies for myself. Theoretically, if we got an old game, Frozen. It was like a Frozen game, 2015. It's this puzzle game. Me and my wife play it. My kids play it. Do you think there's a market for just an old game like that?
One of the things that I've learned is you'd be surprised what there's a market for, right? So in content creation, one angle about what you said was you, your wife, and your kids, right?
Yeah.
That's family content.
Yeah.
Family content and kids content are some of the most successful YouTube channels, right? Like our kids, like, you look at like Coco Melon and Vlad and Nikki and Blippi. They got hundreds of millions, billions of views. Kids love that content, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it doesn't matter what you're doing if you're entertaining and you're an interesting personality. Like if you were wearing like the Frozen dress and you had a wand and you sang the song,
to play me.
and
That's good.
You could
That's
be
a good
out
one.
there.
That's a good one.
It'd be funny.
Well, so it's about the characters, right?
Yeah,
Just like a
yeah.
TV show. If they like the character, they're gonna tune in.
Yeah, you could make it work. You'd be surprised. Like some of the silliest concepts in the world sound silly at face value, but depending on like the talent and the performance, and to make it, and then people build a relationship with you too over the screen. It's a two-way relationship with the viewer and the talent. So you never know.
I got an idea. We could do a content game show, and me and him play one-on-one, and he'll be the clown just getting crossed up like over and over again.
I feel like that's like the professor. Like he'd be doing that to people in the park.
Really?
Yeah, he'd be crossing people. And one professor.
Yeah. You know what? That's what I'm gonna start doing. From now on, next time you see me at the court,
get the camera set up.
He'll be come back limping in the cast.
I'll perform. And I make it happen. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about something. I forgot what we were going to talk about. We were going to talk about.
That's like a drop the mic,
strategies and.
We were talking about. We left that last segment talking about streaming, right?
Content creation, different verticals, different strategies.
The Google part.
Yeah.
Was interesting with the YouTube being at the top of the search. When you say keywords and stuff, are you talking like? I mean, I haven't messed with Google marketing in a long time. Talking about like AdWords, like paying for it, pay per click.
You don't necessarily have to pay, but you just, when you think keywords, what would people search, right? So if you look at real estate, you can go and look up what are the top terms and that are real estate terms that people search,
right? And
then what you do is you embed that in your content. You embed that in written word articles that are publishing on your site, which includes your website's domain authority and searchability, and you include it in your content description of like your YouTube channel, and you put like some of these keywords in the video because people are searching,
making sure that it matches up.
Yeah,
the more you have it embedded in your website, the higher you're going to be up on the list.
Exactly, in your content. So Google's constantly has machine bots that are constantly searching the internet, and they're trying to pair users with relevant information. So if your site has nothing that's relevant to users that no one's searching, it's less likely to get clicks and views. So these are like marketing 101, SEO, like growth hacking techniques. You collaborate with other influencers that have relevance, that are going to post you on their channels, and they collab, and when people search their name, they'll find the video. So if you got a video with like Brad Levy, who does a real estate content, he's do you know Brad? You ever see him?
I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur here, or like who are some other top guys that are here? What's his name with the hair?
The hair.
Chris Cash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chris Cash is all you need to know. There you go.
Dude, too funny. There's a lot here though.
So you would say collaborate with other realtors. So if I was I am a realtor, but to collaborate with other realtors to do content, is that a good strategy?
You could.
Creators.
You could. It could be creators. It could be realtors. It could be people that are doing loans, right? Yeah, people that make content. There's a ton that do it, especially here in Vegas, and that's great because. Or anybody that you collaborate with, even this podcast, right? So if anybody if my name is in something and somebody were to like, oh, Christian Bishop, I'd come up and your video of me would come up and it would drive views.
Yeah.
Same with your name, Chris Cash.
Yeah.
Anytime, right? Same with your name. So that naturally working with people also increases your, you know, the web in which you can discover you. So like anything you're doing, or if you made a video and you mentioned Mark Cuban, you're like, hey, we're analyzing Mark, or we're analyzing that guy Gary, what's his name? Grant Cardone. We're gonna analyze Grant Cardone's real estate strategy.
Okay.
And then maybe that's something that searches. Somebody types in Grant Cardone on YouTube.
And then you could do the same thing with mortgages too as well, right? Just same type of.
Yeah. Should I buy
name
real estate
drop,
now?
Bro.
Name drop.
Name drop.
Yeah, we do that.
Should I wait an interest rate?
Does the keywords, when you say that they're always they have bots searching the internet, do they search with written word only or video? Like audio.
Yeah, it's a good question on
like we're saying
video.
a whole bunch of keywords right now, like best mortgage rates or where to go in Vegas. Like, is that going to be picked up?
I imagine from a YouTube standpoint, yeah.
Okay.
I think these days,
well, yeah. I mean, I guess AI would just.
It's transcribed, right? Like, and now even YouTube does that automatically with a setting. Is like you could transcribe and get captions, right? So I imagine and that's how they probably check censorship too of words for brands if they want to be associated in your content, right? So people say like don't curse. Right, because you want to make sure your content maintains a solid rating, so advertisers will buy ads against your YouTube channel. So like, don't curse, don't say certain things that advertisers wouldn't want to be associated with your brand, and then it lowers the monetization back in rating of your channel with YouTube. So for sure, they have some type of a.
How?
So I'm gonna say some crazy stuff just to mess with you.
Oh,
no. I was looking at Chris, and Chris was already like thinking the same thing I was we gotta start censoring this shit.
No, I mean, honestly though, from like this becomes your inventory of content too, right? Because you'll go and you'll make content and you'll do like 100 of these,
right? And
you may not see the growth you want to see until 101.
It happens
like nothing, and then everything.
And then boom, and then because that's success on 101, people start watching your old content.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right.
And then all your content starts getting views. You ever do that? If you go down a YouTube hole and you start to find someone you like, and then channel. So it starts driving more views, and that's also why the machine of keeping content going and keeping it rolling is. And when you get traction, you keep it going because it snowballs. But yeah, man, you never know, and this stuff lives forever.
No, absolutely. Because I blew up my channel doing reaction videos. So we just reacted to like, music videos and stuff like that. Yeah. And we had like what blew us up is we reacted to the K-pop stuff. Yeah. And you know how the K-pop the
fans are vicious.
They dress very. The guys are wearing makeup, for example.
Right.
And I had a hip hop studio. So we had a hip hop studio doing reaction videos, and I didn't know about these videos, and we reacted to that video.
Clowned them or what?
Come on now. That channel blew up fast, and now it's just sometimes we can't get away from it. Sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, those are the guys that said this about BTS. No, like
like you said, it lasts forever.
It does, and it's a big deal. It's almost like the Beehive for Beyonce. It's like certain groups, and that the K-pop scene is serious like that. They'll
absolutely.
come after you on Twitter.
Serious,
They'll come after you on Twitter. The Beehive. What's her name? Izzy, right? Like one time I was at an event and I tweeted about Izzy, and like her fan base saw it. It was like a photo, and it was like had a bunch of engagement, and I never thought that would happen, right? I'm sure the BTS reaction was random for you, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's also the thing about content creation, is you just can't always predict where it's going to go, and then when the internet it
just goes crazy. And then you're trying to build content, so you're messaging, you're commenting back what they're saying. It got to a point where it was like I can't even comment back. Like it's just
I have 100 today. 200.
It was nuts, and it was all combative too. It was like they were saying a bunch of stuff, and I had to like defend myself, and I was just like I was doing the first few, but I was like, bro, I'm doing this all day long. Like this is impossible. Like it's just crazy.
You almost got to have a team that's responding to that or something, and or you lean into it.
Yeah.
And you just become it because there's something to be said about being hated too.
Yeah.
Right.
In terms of
traffic. I was
traffic.
going to say good and bad publicity is still publicity, right?
Yeah. It's the how I'll pose it back to you guys. The good and bad publicity side, right? If you're being hated on, how did it make you feel? Could you handle it? Could you handle being a heel, right? Like a wrestling term, and being hated, but having that attention in traffic?
Yeah, I leaned into it, but then I think one of them hacked into my page and got it shut down. Like it literally just everything got shut down, so I had to start all over again. Like,
damn, I got you. They probably can mass report you. So like a lot of these social platforms, they'll just use programs on the back. They mass report you.
Yeah, no. So what they did, they went in and then they did something to where they made it look like my page tried to look like something else or something like that, and it just got shut down. I was like,
There's tricks. There's tricks.
Somebody did that, and I was just like, oh crap. All right. Well,
start it on over.
What platform was it?
YouTube.
It was YouTube. They got you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Interesting. Could you do it? Could you end up be okay with being hated?
What I was thinking about, like, if you had like a hate thing, you could do a whole show on like funny ass comments. You know, like hate comments. Like, they must really hate me today. Let's see what we got. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Would you be fine with it every day though?
I don't know. I haven't had it. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing, man. The comments and notifications just constantly getting hated on. I think it breaks everybody down. You know, like certain people handle it, I think, much better than others. But like, it's a lot, man. I've dealt with versions of it too in my life.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. And then because I was running a studio, and then so I wanted to expose these people to, like, you know, being publicized. Like, you're gonna be accountable for everything that you say. And guys would come into the studios like, man, can you believe, man, they were telling me about this and that. And I was like, bro, see, this is what you signed up for. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do this, you're going to have to be either loved or hate. And then the only way to grow is either be polarized, and they either hate you or you love you. You can't be cool. If you're just cool, then you're not going to really go nowhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, you see that now.
It's easy on the internet for people to hate, though. You know, they're behind a screen name. Whatever.
Or like they'll have their real picture up and you're just some anonymous person.
Right.
That's the other side of it too. And there's something nice about anonymity. There's something nice about not being known.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So it's
and that's why I tell people like being famous is actually a liability, because everybody knows everything about you. They see you on the street, they know everything about you. They know what you do and everything, and you don't know anything about them. So it's like a liability to be, you know, quote unquote famous, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, the basic level of notoriety gets used against you, you know. I've dealt with that myself, right? So it's because I did those reality shows on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Oh, really?
I was on those at ABC and ended up getting turned against me, and then it's just used as a headline where it's like, oh.
So you were on The Bachelor?
Yeah. I did
really?
Mm-hmm.
You were on The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how did that feel to be on that show, and then now you're getting? Because now, especially with that show, it revels in, you know, hate and
shit talk, and it's pretty much that's all it's about.
Yeah, you're not good enough. You know, for me, I'm like one of the few black guys on the show too in the beginning. So it's like it's different. You're dating, you know, a white woman, and most of the audience is middle America and flyover states and stuff. And there's over 15 million people that watch that show. And it's a huge fan base, and they're passionate, and everybody's hypercritical, and it's all about judging you and your viability as a bachelor to date, you know. So it's an
experience.
Yeah, it's an experience, man. But
So with that being said, how important is your mental health in all this, and what are strategies that you use to guard that?
It's a big thing, man. And I'm trying to figure it out. That's why I ask those questions to you guys too. I always like to learn. And it's a constant evolution and journey. Like, obviously the gym is a big thing for me, right? So, you know, I'm in the gym, or we're in the gym together most mornings. Yeah. That's important for me, taking time for myself, obviously separating from it and turning it off and unplugging is pretty big. And at a certain level, man, I've gotten pretty guarded, right, about certain things too. And you gotta, I'm different now, right? I got 3 kids, and no longer, you know, I was 26 years old and I was doing that. I'm 35 now, 3 kids, wifed up, I'm married, and a whole different situation in life. So it's different, but yeah, man, that's one of the reasons I also went to law school. You know, it's like, it's part of my pains and the negativity and the things you've seen make you more prepared to protect yourself, right? So it's and seeing how nasty the internet can be, death threats and stuff. It's like, it's why I carry now. It's why I train. Right?
Absolutely.
It's like I'm different now. I'm like a different guy, right? Like,
you're like, I didn't know the world was this ugly, man.
You stay ready, right? So, and then you got kids to protect. So it's that's the thing too, man. You say protect them mentally, you try your best, but also you have to manage that, you know, and that's a part of it, right? And that's the weight that I think comes with the opportunity to visibility that sometimes is tough for people to see. So it's behind the veil that you don't always see, and I think that's why you'll see some people crash, right? Some celebrities and folks that are in positions and people say it's not always about the money, right? Or that you have more money, more problems, stuff, and
right.
It comes with a certain demise. Like look right now, right? Look what Hove's dealing with, right? Look at what happened to B Diddy, right?
Yeah.
Like in different crazy scenarios, but even them, even at the top of the top, right?
Yeah.
So,
how important is money to you?
Money's really important to me. So, money is important to me. It's definitely definitely the age-old like tool, right? I use that to do things that I want to do, whether or not it's business and fun projects, and I invest in different things. I support different like charities and nonprofits. I support political candidates, right? I ran for political office, and you need money to do these things. But you also need money to have a level of freedom, right? Like I can go do this and show up looking like this, and go to an event, like do something. Like you're like, hey, what am I doing? I'm like, sure, I can do that.
Right. It's freedom, right?
Yeah,
money's freedom.
Yeah. Like, guys, hey, can you do this? I'm like, sure. Middle of the day, right?
Exactly.
We play basketball till 10, 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
Mortgage broker, he's not in the office when you think.
Exactly. He knows. He's like, where were you at all day? Playing
I was like,
basketball?
I'm at my
I was
desk,
at the
man.
gym.
Are we going to do the show? No, I'm playing basketball right now. I twisted my ankle, bro.
Dodging this guy nutrition. And so, but like that's freedom. So to be able to do that, and that's what it's a representative, and that's also what real estate enables you to do. Is like cash flow is like, I'm like, man, if you get to 100K plus in cash flow, real estate for free cash flow, you never have to have a job again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's pretty liberating.
Yeah, definitely. Like money for me, obviously it was important. Like my name is Cash, right? But it's freedom. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's freedom, like the freedom to do what you want to do. It's not necessarily the actual money, because it's just a tool, like you mentioned. It's just the freedom to be able to live the lifestyle you want. Like it's really all about the lifestyle that we choose to do every day on a daily basis, like go to the gym every day and work and spend time with our family and stuff like that. What would you say that you getting into law, because that's another big career, like is that you trying to be busy, or is that something that you want to do,
like passionate about?
Yeah, not necessarily passionate. Not about being busy. It's about getting better, right? So for me, I really went down this track. Once I had started having my kids, I was disappointed. It took me 12 years to finish school. When the pandemic started, I had 2 years left. I had 2 classes. I had 1 class left to graduate, but because my GPA was a 1.9, they were like, you have to take 2 classes and get A's in both, because you need the credits to get above a 2.0. So otherwise, and I was disappointed in myself. So I did that. I was like, okay, now I got to go for my MBA. I always thought I should do this.
Right.
And then I was like, what's something else you always wanted to do? And I was like, law school. And this is all checking myself, becoming a new father. I was like, hey, I'm going to tell your kids they can do anything. And you look back and say, what about you, Dad? What did you do?
Go from here to here, right?
Yeah. Like, what about you, Dad? And then I also want to protect them. And I want to protect what I've been able to do. And I want to be more competent and capable founder, business operator, executive in businesses. And the higher, the more I've accomplished and the bigger things I've tried to do, the higher the stakes. And with that comes this immense responsibility to get it right. So I was like, I don't want to be a clown. I don't want to be incompetent. I want to be prepared, and that's knowledge. And it's like the things where you get caught slipping is like you just didn't know. And you come in, I'm sure you guys have seen it. You come into a deal and you're like, damn, I really didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. And then you get that experience. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's 2 years, and you're like, wow, what I know now, and if I knew.
Right.
So that knowledge gap is such a big advantage in life. So like when you know that, and simply knowing the law and knowing your rights, and being able to exercise that, and the law touches every aspect of what you do.
Absolutely. What's a bigger motivator for you, the fear of failure or the attainment of success?
Yeah, look, success is big for me. That's always been a big driver. The failure piece, not so much. I think an entrepreneur, like, it's being scared of fear. If you're an entrepreneur, like, that's rough because you're gonna fail. Like most businesses fail.
Expect it.
Yeah, 9 to 10, but that expectation of that failure is also like that how difficulty that road is should also prepare you for that journey. So it's like, don't go in blind and being knowing, right? It's like knowing you're going to be pumping out a ton of content, knowing you're going to do this. So it's like, you're going to be grinding, you're going to have your head down. It's going to take longer than you thought. It's going to cost more than you thought it was going to cost you. And there's going to be a lot of burdens along the way. That should give you callous and harden your perspective. So I kind of fall in love, and cliche again, with the approach and the journey of the grind, trying to improve. And it's about that and trying to figure it out,
Just the actual journey. Yeah, it is a cliche. Like people always say, it's just about the journey. But once you get into it, that's really what it is, because that's what you're going to do every day. Because once you get what you want, then what? You know, you're just like,
and with the people, go back to the team thing too, right? So it's like some businesses that I get involved in, it's because of the people. Like a buddy that calls me, and you ask about the real estate. Somebody calls me, I'm like, you want to do this? Like, okay, I guess it gives us something to do together.
Right.
Like, hey,
right.
You're gonna be on the board of directors. I gotta just join this board. And I was like, well, it's with you, buddy. And I was like, it's something for us to do together. And it's just at a certain point, like life is like you choose to do things. Because sometimes it's about the people that you're doing it with, you know, and not always that tangible stuff.
More of like a business adventure if you're doing it with homies.
Life, man. Business is just a thing we do. It's like playing Monopoly, you know. It's like it's just something to do together, and that's like guys like. Sometimes it's just business. Sometimes the best businesses, like I'm sure you've all done deals where you're just hanging out with your homies or friends and build a relationship, whether you're on the basketball court, right, where you got started, or on the golf course, or out doing whatever you're doing, and sometimes things come together. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back with some more of Christian Bishop
insights from The Bachelor.
Oh, see what happens when you share.
Now that you know that you're ready to buy a home, let's move on to part 2, pre-game freestyle. Next thing to do is to find a buyer's agent. Chris Cash. That'll guide you through with due diligence. Chris Cash. Duties owed to you is transparency. Chris Cash. Honesty, loyalty, and integrity. Chris Cash. Good communication, great negotiation skills. Always gonna recommend you get the best deal. They'll be representing you in your home purchase, unlocking information in their home searches. But before we hit the field, gotta get a pre-approval letter. Writing offers, making deals. Send a letter with the offer just to make it better. Once the offer is accepted, time to get a home inspection. An appraisal is required by the bank to get it. Negotiation ammunition for repairs and credits. Almost there, almost a homeowner. Final walkthrough, make sure it's all in order. Should be good to go, same time clear to close. Sign the final documents, now you own a home. You a homeowner now. Building equity with credit you could take out. Vegas is for sale.
Welcome back to the Vegas Life Podcast. My name is Chris Cash.
Kevin Sherman.
Christian Bishop.
In the building, the ever so talented Christian Bishop, man. Who would have thought this guy that I was crossing up at the gym would have so many endeavors? The media company, on The Bachelor, real estate investor, and we're going to talk about your political endeavors.
But you forgot law school, man.
Oh, law school.
Future lawyer.
Have you seen Suits?
That's my show. Harvey Specter.
Bro,
Mike, come on.
I love that show. Have you seen Suits?
I have.
Oh man, Harvey Specter, man. Harvey Specter boxes every morning too, right?
Does he?
Just like me. Yes. No, it's just really good. So you want to talk about the law? You want to talk about the
Well, I want to ask him one more question, Law. We left off talking about why you went into law school.
Okay.
What was it? I guess you said it was for just kind of like basically just learning up the law, right?
And protection, right?
Wanting to know.
Yeah, protection, learning up the law, and addressing regrets and wanting to be better, right? Becoming a father. I looked in the mirror. My dad wasn't in my life, most of my teenage life, because his family was racist. So they didn't know I existed. So I was also driven by some trauma to want to be enough and want to be better, right?
Okay, wait, hold on. Your father was father's family was racist.
Yeah.
Your father is black or
white?
White.
Yeah, black and white.
Okay. All right, I'm just getting the facts. I'm just
getting the facts.
Getting the facts.
No, but is there a future plan for? I mean, obviously, law degree. You're doing it more for just knowledge, right?
Service as well.
Are you going to be like wanting to be a lawyer?
Yeah. I'm going to take the bar and I'll pass the bar.
Okay.
And it goes. It's funny enough. You talk politics too. It's also this transition into service in my life.
Right.
So it's like I joined boards, community work. I'm on the board of Boy Scouts and a board of a couple of organizations, leaders in training, and other organizations around our community.
Right.
But it's also I'm going to be joining the Air Force as a JAG in the reserves, which is essentially an attorney, in the Air Force.
Okay.
So I'll be doing that.
So add military.
1 week in a month. And, I'll be doing that. And my family served, and it's one of my regrets also, right? It was that I never actually had a chance to serve. I didn't. And being able to do that and serve and step up is important to me. And it was the same reason why I ended up running for state senate here in Henderson and stepping up politically.
Oh, yeah. Okay. They see he already transitioned for us.
Right.
So was state senator?
Yeah. I ran. I lost my race. I took an L, right? So, yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
I get what it feels like for you.
No, I was gonna give a pun into it.
Did it.
But I didn't want to kick him while he was down. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, brother. It's fair, baby. It hurts, man. Taking L's.
When did you run?
This past year. Yeah,
did?
this past year, we broke fundraising records in the state. We ran here in Henderson.
Yeah.
It was a competitive race, and we lost. And, so we'll see, maybe run in 2 years for something, maybe in 4 years.
Yeah.
Right now, we rebuild and we recharge.
Yeah.
There you go.
And now you got me to talk to, because, whenever you play on my team, we win.
Yeah.
So
You're going to help them win?
Yeah.
Next round?
So one thing I'm
Midterms?
good at is win. That's what I do. Let me ask you this. Do you feel that you're doing too much? Or do you feel, how are you able to do all these things?
Yeah, so that was actually a problem for me most recently these past 2 years, as I took on too much. So I didn't think burnout was a real thing.
Right.
That I thought it was stepping up and handling your business was what it was really about. But then I learned that it was handling your business, but also being sane and normal at home and in your personal lives too.
Right.
And being a good partner, being a good father, and being able to actually be present and be there and not be short fused and things. And I was like, man, I think of people like Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson and these different people. I'm like, how do they handle it? How do you manage being this busy, but also being good to people you love, right? Because you could be hard on people that are closest to you. And that's what I experienced. I experienced being drained, not having left in the tank, being hot fused of just the immense pressure of juggling deadlines and having to get things done. It's like, I have to do this. It's not like a game where, you have a choice to be like, I could get to that. And I was like, this has to be done by here. There's requirements to this. And it's a lot of pressure, man. So that was something I've dealt with. And that's why also I've been comfortable chilling. So I'm at a recovery stage right now.
What changes have you made as far as the home life to make it more balanced or better in your life?
Yeah, so I've avoided opportunities that would have me on the road more, right?
Yeah.
So I work from home. I have a home office. Not that I say that's necessarily the best idea with 3 kids, but
you gotta work before they get them before school
and when they go to bed.
Dude, I got 2 at home. I drop off 1 at kindergarten, and then I go to the gym and I pick them up. I gotta go pick them up before it gets too late right here at 2:30. So I'll be heading here soon after this segment. I'll be going straight to school to pick up my oldest. And,
I feel you. Yeah,
and I'll be doing that, man. And got a nanny, right? So they help out, and my mom also lives with me, so I've been taking care of her for years, and she helps a lot too. So building systems.
Yeah,
nice.
systems.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is always a good question for people that have busy ass schedules like yours. What time do you wake up in the morning?
Early. I'm like a 3:30, 4 in the morning kind of guy.
Yeah,
but I also go to bed early. Though. That's the thing. Is I'm not up all night like Chris, right?
Playing video games. Yeah. I'm about to start a Twitch channel, so I'm about to get signed by this guy right now.
You're frozen dress.
Bro, that thing is addicting, bro. Yeah.
He's excited about it. He's like, I'm going to go home and play.
Yeah. I'm going to come home and be like, babe, I got it. I figured it out. This is what we're going to do. Get the cameras up.
Right.
Kid, get in here. Get in here.
Yeah, 100%. I can help you, man. I can help you. So you these? Right,
break down your daily schedule.
Right.
Yeah, so, for me, I'm up early, right? So I get up early and spend a little time with the kids, and I'm getting a little work done before I head off, and I'll leave the house around 7:30, get my kid at school, I'll get to the gym Lifetime, try to get a workout in, hit the weights, stretch, and then I'll see you on the court around 9:15, 9:30 till 10:30, 10:45, shower, get home, then I'm working again, doing some things for 3 hours.
So what's the office work look like right now?
Oh man, I'm taking calls, meetings, pitching, following up, contracts, putting plans together, strategy work.
Okay.
A lot of yapping. I call it yapping because I'm a deal guy, right?
So you're just figuring out what you're going to be doing. Calling people, staying in touch.
Everything's off my calendar. Everything's off my calendar, right? So it's scheduled.
Right.
So I'm usually scheduling stuff in the middle of my day. I don't try to get out at night, right? So I'm not a night guy. So I wake up early before I can get distracted. I'm getting all the work done, which I call the work, right? That's like things, as you guys know, is you got to actually sit down, be focused, put together these documents, put together pitches, PowerPoints, presentations, contracts, red lines, whatever you're actually doing. That's like the work. Then during the day when everybody else is up, that's when you're talking to people, right? You're pitching a meeting. But then after that meeting, and I'm sure you guys have also seen it, where's the follow-up?
Right.
Where's that follow-up email that you promised somebody that said, I'm going to get you that? And everybody's favorite thing to say is send me some information on that, right? Everybody's favorite thing to say is they always want to follow up with that. So it's you got to do that. That's part of the game is and people need to digest it. And oftentimes folks aren't really listening, right? Fully until they see something. Then the conversation begins and they judge you based on your work product. Right. So you got to sit down and put thought, to pen and actually put these things together. And I do work with people, right? So doing deals naturally is Zoom calls, meetings, going out, doing things and putting in the work during the day. But I have the luxury right now, man, to work, 4 or 5 hours a day professionally. And I spend a lot of time with myself, my family, and some of my other projects and work I do in the community.
Nice.
Nighttime routine. What's that
I'm in
look
bed.
He's like, I won't go to bed early.
I mean, like, do you go, like, is it dinner, wash up, read the kid a bedtime story? Like, how does it go?
Yeah, like I could be better on the bedtime story thing, to be honest with you. But like the kids are usually in bed with me, and we're winding it down around like 6 to 7, right? And we're spending time together and relaxing. And my wife gets home generally from the hospital. She gets off at 7, so she'll come home right between that, like 8-ish. Sometimes the kids are asleep, so then we'll have our time, right? And we'll practice. And then we'll do our thing then. And then I'm pretty much knocking out, right? So like I'm done, right? So right about like that 8 to 9, I should be knocked out. Doesn't always go that way, and then that's when sometimes I'll be on like YouTube holes, like I'm listening to some podcast in the middle of the night. But yeah, man, ultimately I'm trying to be
9 o'clock, 9 to 3.
I need my sleep. You know, I really, really need my sleep. So it's I'm not good. I'm not that no sleep kind of guy. Like I struggle with that. So and some nights are better than others, right? So
You ever struggle to get up, or are you like right out of bed?
No, getting up is less of an issue, but like I also give myself grace, right? Like if I am going through and I feel like I need the break, right? Especially if it's like the gym or something, like I'll take that moment to recover, right? Like if I need to, I will. I'll move slower. Some mornings I move slower. Some I'm on it, right? And I'm just
Well, I guess you got like a whole bunch of shit that you got to do in the daytime. You know, you
I try to. I like it. I say I'm a day walker. I prefer it, but each their own. Is I think some people, especially creatives, right? No shocker, you late at night. Like creatives tend to be that way at night,
right?
It just depends. That's not my skill set. I'm not necessarily the creative type of individual. I don't have that skills. So everybody's wired a little differently. That's been a big part of learning too about myself. Is actually learning like, what's my thing? What do I enjoy doing?
What lanes?
Yeah, man. It took me most of my 20s to dial that in, to be honest.
Well, what was your goal in your 20s, and then what are your goals now?
It was always, since I was a kid, just to be successful.
Okay.
It was a super broad goal like that. And every like coin flip, every blow out a candle, I was like, I just want to be successful. Didn't have anything growing up, moved around a lot. Was raised by great women in my family, grandma at a certain point, aunts, uncles. Eventually I went to military school as a kid, 8th grade till senior year, and then I was on my own when I was 18, and I just wanted to be success. Wanted to make $100K, right, when I was young. And,
that's all. $10,000 a month.
And then I was able to do that when I was 20, working at a cell phone store, and I was like #1 in sales in the country, and I just started businesses, hustling, investing, doing things and making moves, and just one thing led to the other. And I was in this journey of discovery. So I was like, so I went on like TV shows, and I was like doing like acting classes and commercial work and doing commercials and modeling. And I became a trainer, and I was doing fitness, and I was just exploring, and it's corporate America, and I'm doing well, right? And then I look in the corner office, and I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to be that guy in that corner. I was like a director 20 years in, and I was just doing the same thing.
Who do you think? So you had mentioned that like your upbringing is what maybe made you this way to like go out and do all these things. So who was your inspiration, you think, besides your self-inspiration?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like my stepmom, Mary Ellis Bunham, and she's what pushed my dad to get in my life, and step back and step up and be like, hey, you should step up for your son and get involved in his life. And did you guys remember that show, The Railroad and Road Rules? Back in the day on TV, she created that show.
Oh, wow.
So that was her. Yeah, that was her show. So she was super successful, and she did it out of a single studio apartment in New York with her partner Jonathan Murray, and she hustled and became the queen of reality TV and made it what it was before it was. And and I went from having nothing to seeing that lifestyle of her at that level. And she got cancer and ended up dying, right? When I was a junior in high school. And she was like a guardian angel to me that pushed my dad to get alive, paid for military school and all of that, and put me on a track. But bless me, in that brief moment, she would like Christmas gift. I'd ask for like computer parts and like games and stuff. And she was like, no, I'm going to get you piano lessons. And I was pissed. I was like, piano lessons? And I was like, what? Bro, that's a gift. I was like, that's actually like expensive, and that's a skill.
Right.
And to this day, I was like, you idiot. You didn't appreciate what she was giving you, and she was like giving you an actual real skill.
Right.
And that's one of my things too. I was like, and I enjoy to this day playing the Pink Panther and a couple of little songs I can play now thanks to her.
So you say she was your kind of your inspiration.
Guardian angel. Yeah, it's a more appropriate term. I went, guardian angel is a big one, and that people I've looked up to that are just figures from afar over the years that you see, that you kind of like, you look up to from a business success standpoint. But as you get older, I think that facade of what that is, kind of fades, especially as you meet some of them.
Yeah.
Don't meet your heroes kind of thing. And I think I'm more driven by my own personal trauma, like I said, of wanting to be successful and provide for my family and my mom and be there for my kids because my dad wasn't.
What's your definition of success?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Right? Yeah. Freedom, being able to do for others and help people along the way pursue their dreams and live up to their potential. Right. That's why I like working with creators. It's the same kind of thing, with producers, with talent and stuff. It's like, how can I help you live up to your potential to be where you can be? That's very satisfying for me. Right. It's helping somebody and help them take them from there to there and play a little part in that journey. It's pretty fulfilling.
Yeah. So would you say, you say you have freedom now, right?
Yeah. I think I got some levels of freedom.
Yeah.
I got levels of it. I think there's social norms and boundaries, one way or the other, to force you to do some things. But yeah, I can live anywhere I want to live. I could do whatever I want to do. Within reason. I can travel anywhere I want to travel.
So
but I have responsibility.
Yeah. Do you feel now, because you've attained success and your freedom, that now you're in the phase of service? That way you can have more people kind of just see what you see, right?
Yeah, a level of that, and I still have a lot to accomplish. I'm only 35, right? So I got a lot of life to live. I can do this, for another 40 years, 30 years. And what I've experienced is that you could start over from zero today, and I think in 2 years fundamentally change your life as well, right? Like I think I tell that to people I work with. I was like, in 2 years, like, trust me, if you do this, and you work with me, like your life in 2 years will be fundamentally different. Yeah. And I've done it over and over with people that I've mentored. So I know myself as I can continue to accomplish a lot. And that's also why education is important to me, is I don't know the road and the journey of what's ahead of me. I wouldn't have thought I'd ever be here living in Vegas now, 10 years ago, right? Like, I'd be like, what? Living in Vegas? Right. No, I'm living in Vegas. Like,
who lives in Vegas?
Yeah, who lives in Vegas, right? So, like, you never know where the world will take you. So, like, that unknown and that marvel of what's to come is also a reason why it's like, hey, reach for it. Reach to be your best so you're ready.
How important is speed in business or just everything that you're doing?
That's my thing. I move fast. Move fast, man.
Move fast, fail fast, learn fast.
Try not to fail, try not to fail, but it's a byproduct of it. I try to make mistakes, but it's like win, fail, pivot, accept the failure, know it, take the L, move on from that.
Don't lull in it.
And the emotional part of it, right? It's like, don't linger on it. It is what it is. And that's a big part of, like, probably one of my superpowers, but also may make me also a little bit more cold, right? Is my ability to tank damage and take the negativity and then compartmentalize it and keep it moving. Right. And it's like, not letting that hit you, like, God, just to get political again, I think that's Donald Trump's power. Like, you look at what he's done, I'm like, man, this guy was indicted. This guy was doing all this stuff. I'm like,
he came back from the ashes.
Like assassinated. And this guy just gets up and keeps moving like he's perfectly fine.
Yeah, next day, whatever. I almost got shot yesterday. We're going to move on.
I would have been shook. If you're over there, you got the feds banging on your door, you're getting ready, doing this, you got the whole world after you, you're getting indicted, you got state attorney, you got all these people, your businesses, you're getting dragged. And either you have some mental illness or you're just a narcissist to the furthest degree, or you just...
A little bit of all of it, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it works for him. It's going to work for us, maybe.
Yeah, maybe you need versions of that, right? Like, to be successful, you need a version of that in yourself, and that's maintaining that of being him, right? Yeah. Like, you got to have a little bit of that in you to also get through it. But I think it's a superpower is to continue to push through and not dwell on those moments, but also don't be ignorant to the lessons that come from those. That's a thing too. So you don't repeat them. Don't be blinded by your own vanity and your own blind ignorance to think you're the best, that you can't learn also. Like, that's super cringy. Yeah. It's the people that come in a situation, you're like, wow, this person actually doesn't know what they're talking about.
They think they do.
You think they do. And you're like, oh God, that's sad. It's like, damn, dude, it's bad. It's like, those are really bad moments. Try not to be that guy.
Would you say ego is a detriment or is a benefit to most people?
Gotta wield it, man. I think you have to wield it. I think it's an interesting thing I've learned to, which I call, like, becoming more grounded as a husband, right, and a father. When you was out there, right, before, and you're dating and you're living that life and you're trying to be him and you're taking care of yourself, and there's a different energy, swag that you bring, and confidence that drives and leads that. And as you get more domiciled and more grounded, you lose certain parts of this, but you change in other ways as well. Right. So you try not to lose certain angles and you try to rechannel it. So it's almost a process of new discovery there. And I think ego plays a part, right? Like I think, you know, when I look at like one of my favorite athletes is Kobe, right? Just to go back to basketball, which you've been joking about today, is like, and being in sports is big on confidence. And I didn't necessarily have that growing up, like with coaches, because I didn't have money and like moved around a lot. I never was on sports teams, so I can't shoot. I don't have a jumper. I was never taught like fundamentals. I just went to the park and played on my own, and it affects me to this day. Like my shit's busted.
Right.
But it's like, but like confidence and like a kid's confidence and like sports and like learning that, and like there's a certain level of ego to that. And like basketball players and athletes, wide receivers, they have this, and quarterbacks, they have this supreme confidence. Tiger Woods is, you'd have to have that like certain ego, and sometimes it's an alter ego that you can channel, but like for some people in the world and all the regrets and the hatreds and the doubts and the self-doubts and all of that, is like sometimes you need that shell and that armor, and if your ego gives you that, then it can let you dial in, then it's powerful. So I think it's something to wield, and I'm not so quick to L it and say don't have it. And I think that's a sensitive thing we see today, especially with young men, is this just breakdown of confidence and just personality, and you have to be, you know, vanilla or sheltered down or watered down. You can't be yourself.
Right. We only got a few minutes left. Do you have any final questions?
Well, I was gonna hit on the ego thing. It's like believing in yourself. Like belief is big, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
Like just believing that you're going to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, that's where you start.
Is what think it. Like, there was like a bug I think Peter to like think it the cometh, right? Like what you think of and what you tell yourself in your mind is like what you become, and it's that positive affirmations and putting that out there in the universe. I believe in that energy. And yeah, you know, that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I go to the gym every day, you know, because I go there, I get confidence, crossing people up, hitting jumpers.
This is what, time 5?
You know what I mean? And then I'm ready to go and make some deals happen.
All right.
You feel me? After all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. We can go with that, guys.
Ego.
That's what
Ego.
happens.
We're talking about ego.
No, but on reality, sometimes when I go to the gym and I don't feel good, I'm just not there. I literally have to talk to myself, like, and have an ego, like, no, I am the best. No, I am. And then it gets me out of that
Funk.
rut, that funk, gives me confidence, and I can go about my day. Otherwise, that funk is just translates all over the day.
It's that self-talk, like you were saying, like what you're telling yourself. Is a huge, like, it's going to affect you, right?
Yeah. But that's what's fun about basketball too. Like with our group and we play with, like, we compete, right? Like we have fun, you know, but we build a relationship with each other. We're not trying to hurt each other. We're all adults. We want to go back to our families, but like we'll talk trash, right? And then like we'll talk trash on the court, and I'm doing that to get us going, right? To get myself going,
pumped up.
Yeah, to get going other times, and it just and it's part of the game. It was just part of the mental and the psyche. It's just like we're trying to get each other going, and I think it works.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I really liked about you, because when I just got there, he started talking trash, and I was like. I love it. I love it.
He was like, now I have something to compete
I love
with.
it because that's how I grew up. I grew up competing, talking trash, and then somewhere along the line, life, and everybody just stopped doing that. Like everyone's like, so like, no,
sensitive.
Careful what you say. No, fuck that shit. I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. I don't give a fuck, and let's do it. And then at the end of the day, like, it's that competitive energy, and then we shake on it and be like, yeah,
good game.
Good game.
I'll see you tomorrow. Right. We'll be back the next day. And ballers too, they got this weird energy of like, it became this like carefree basketball lazy, where it's like no one wants to play like they're playing, and like no one wants to play like they're trying. Just like, I don't know what happened. Yeah,
like fuck that.
Yeah, it's like,
came here to play.
Yeah, we're gonna get after it, you know. So like, I'll like push people, right? Like, I'll like push Cash. I'll like hit his arm. I'm just messing with people the whole time just to get them going.
And I definitely love that energy, man. I love this podcast. I love this interview, man. You're a great person. Thank you so much for
thank you
stopping by and chopping up with us.
Thank you, brother.
Nice
you got it, my man. Thank you.
Where can people find you, or what do you push?
Yeah. You can Christian Bishop on Instagram. Glad to get connected. You could reach out there, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Vegas Life Real Estate Podcast. Chris Cash,
Kevin Sherba,
and we're on out.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, man.
Peace.